We used Amazon PPC to 3x this brand's revenue in a year, taking it from a 6-figure brand to a multi-million-dollar brand, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we did it. August of last year, we did $64,000 in revenue. August of this year, last month, we did $213,000 in revenue. This means we more than 3x the revenue for this brand in our portfolio in the last year, and we did it while increasing profit margin, taking the tacos from 18% of our total revenue spent on ads to under 11% of our total revenue spent on ads. And now I'm gonna walk you through the exact campaigns we used to do it and how to set them up so you can duplicate this success for yourself. And no, I'm not AI. I'm a real person. I don't know how to prove that to you, but I am. How do you prove you're human? What can I do that's more... I keep thinking picking stuff up and putting it down is proof that I'm not AI. Literally, there's nothing you can do because AI can do anything. How? In today's day and age. Whatever. You're just gonna have to trust I'm not AI. I'm Chris Rawlings. I'm one of the single top spenders of Amazon ads on the platform with over $4 million in monthly Amazon PPC ad spend. And this is a women's apparel brand in our portfolio that's less than 2 years old to begin with, and we've had them on a steady month-over-month growth path for a long time now. So we're gonna go to Campaign Manager and look at the top 5 campaigns in terms of sales and ACoS that got us to this growth path. And starting with the top campaign here, we have a sponsored product auto campaign producing a vast majority of the sales. Now, we actually turned this campaign off after a while because we had other campaigns that were performing better, but you can see throughout the life of this growth path that we've been on, this provided a large portion of the sales. And this is gonna be surprising to some of you, unsurprising to others. The interesting thing about this sponsored product auto campaign is, one, we use close match, which if you're not sure which auto match type to use, there are 4 auto match types when creating a sponsored product auto campaign: close match, loose match, substitutes, and complements. Close match is usually the one you want to try first, and it's most likely to have the greatest success. What you'll also notice about this is we have a top of search bid adjuster, a rest of search bid adjuster, and an audience bid adjuster, which is a new feature that Amazon just released a couple months ago that we're testing out on accounts and we've had a lot of great success with. I have a whole video on it. You can check it out on my channel. And this is what I've been telling you guys, that auto campaigns can really crush. They're not just for finding new targets anymore. They're actual performance campaigns that you can use to get really low ACoS lean sales. This is going along with a theme by Amazon in 2025 where Amazon PPC ads that give Amazon more leeway, like auto match, broad match, expanded product targeting, phrase match, these types of targeting that give Amazon more flexibility and leeway are performing better and better because Amazon's algorithm is getting better at putting you in front of the right targets, the right search terms, the right products at the right time. So if you try to box it in too much with too much exact targeting, it actually can be counterproductive sometimes. So how do you set up a campaign like this yourself? You go to create campaign, you're gonna go to sponsored products, you're gonna click Amazon and Beyond, you're gonna click the product that you wanna advertise. Then in targeting, you're gonna click automatic targeting. Then instead of set default bid, you're gonna go to set bids by targeting group, uncheck everything but close match. Then in negative keyword targeting, during your keyword research, you might have come up with words that you don't wanna show up. Like if your product is made of wood, you don't wanna show up for metal because you know they're not gonna convert on your product, for example. And you're gonna put all of those in here, negative phrase. If you wanna learn more about how to do keyword research and come up with negative keyword targets, watch my video on keyword research on the channel. And then you could also do negative product targeting, although you really don't have to worry about negative keyword targeting and negative product targeting too much when you're first setting up the ad. You're actually gonna put those negative targets in as you're optimizing the ad as part of your optimization process. For the bids, your default here is gonna be dynamic bids down only, but if you're not getting impressions, you can always try dynamic bids up and down. And then we get to the bid adjustments part. So you saw that we had a top of search bid adjustment, a rest of search bid adjustment, and we went over and did an audience bid adjustment. And to do that, you click here, go to audiences. This is the best audience to use, high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity, and we had a 10% bid adjuster there. The thing is, if you're gonna start with bid adjusters, you have to have a reason to. So if you're testing audiences, for example, you might wanna test like 10 or 20% in this audience bid adjuster. That means Amazon is more likely to show you for people that it thinks are likely to purchase your product. Sometimes you're like, hey, why didn't you do that already? But hey, you know, it's Amazon. So it's worth testing out. In terms of the placement bid adjusters, top of search, rest of search, and product pages, these ones, you don't really want to start out with a big bid adjuster here. you're gonna change those bid adjusters based on the performance of the ad. So if you see that one of those placements is doing better, then you're gonna adjust the bid adjuster on that particular placement. If you already know that you tend to do better on a certain placement, then you can start out with 10, 20, or max 30% on that bid adjuster, and then you can up it as time goes on. But what you don't wanna do is start off with like 500% right off the get-go. It's too much, it kind of confuses Amazon, and it doesn't really work. So max, you wanna start off with like 20 or 30%. Then you pop in your daily budget. This should be based on what percentage of your total daily budget for the product you wanna spend on this campaign. This is, again, a thing that you'll adjust as time goes on. So it's not a huge deal if you don't get it exactly right. If you want to learn more about how to set your budgets, check out my video on my channel about how to set budgets. Then you can launch your campaign. All right, then we get to the second best performing campaign in terms of sales. This is a sponsored product auto campaign as well. The only difference here is that we have a product pages bid adjuster of 10% and a top of search bid adjuster, no rest of search bid adjuster, and no audiences bid adjuster. This campaign is producing really low ACoS sales, 17% ACoS sales, and it's the second top selling campaign out of all our campaigns here. So it's actually done a fantastic job. I'm not gonna walk through how to set up that campaign because it's exactly the same as the process that I just walked you guys through, except instead of selecting close match, you select loose match when you're selecting your match type for the auto campaign. Okay, next one down is an interesting one. So this was a way that we were able to scale sales through a strategy we call campaign chaining, where we take a target that's working well in one ad type and put it into another ad type. So this is a sponsored brand ad, and it is actually targeting a category, which is our same category. So we're targeting the same category that we're in. And you can see, again, this campaign is performing really well. Third most sales out of all the campaigns that we have at a 22% ACoS, which is very profitable for us. So how to set up a campaign like this? You're gonna go to create campaign, and then instead of sponsored products, you're gonna scroll down to sponsored brand, click create campaign there. Then you're gonna input your daily budget. Again, you could watch my video on budgets if you don't know how to choose that. Click drive page visits, click Amazon, name your ad group, click video here, and then make sure product detail page is selected. Then select the product you want to advertise. Then you're going to deselect cost control. We're not going to use that feature. We're not using bid adjustments in this case, although it is something to test out if you want to try that later. Then instead of keyword targeting, we're going to do product targeting. And this is another pattern that we've seen this year, is that sponsored brand video with product targeting is working really well for whatever reason, one reason or another. But in this case, we're not targeting individual products, we're actually targeting categories. So you're going to select categories, and then your category should be listed here under the suggested categories. So just find it and then click add and you're done. If you don't find it here, then you can search for the category by going here and then typing in your category. Or you can just browse through your category by clicking through, but I'd recommend just typing it in. Once you've selected your category, then you're gonna come down here. You can do negative product targeting if you want, but that's only if you know that there are particular product targets that don't work for you based on the data that you've seen. And then you go down here and you simply add your video. If you don't have a video, you can use Amazon's AI to generate a video. And some of you guys might be balking at that, but if you've seen some of my recent videos, I did a breakdown of some of our AI generated videos using Amazon's AI video ad builder, which is this right here, which is still in beta. They actually work. In our case, we were using like a human made video, not an AI video. And that's what produced the results that I showed you guys earlier. But if you don't have one, you can generate a video with AI, and a lot of times it smacks. Okay, now let's go on to the fourth best performing campaign, which is another sponsor brand video campaign, also targeting categories, but we're targeting a different category. It's a very similar category, but it's not the same category, it's a different category. And again, we're producing low ACoS sales at a pretty high volume here. So this sponsor brand video targeting categories is one of the main ways we were able to scale sales for this brand profitably. Okay, let's look at the next one down. This is a sponsored product campaign targeting keywords in a particular keyword grouping based on shopper intent. So in this case, there's a certain intent that all of the shoppers have when they're targeting this keyword. In this case, it's one of the functions of the product that they're looking for, a particular function. And we saw that in our search term reports, we honed in on it, and we put all those keywords together and we created a campaign out of it. And we used broad modified. So that means that we input the keywords, but we put a plus in front of the words so that Amazon has to include those words in the search terms that it's advertising us on in search results, but it can add other words around it or put them in different orders. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. But first, two other things about this campaign. There's also a rest of search bid adjuster and an audience bid adjuster. And again, I'm going to show you guys how to do that just like we did in the previous campaign. So to create this campaign, you're gonna go to Sponsored Products, click Create Campaign, select Amazon, select your product. In targeting, you're gonna select Manual Targeting, Keyword Targeting, and then once you get down to keywords here, you're gonna click Enter List, deselect Phrase, deselect Exact, and just leave Broad there. And then now you're gonna put in the keywords, but Broad Modified is actually a different type of targeting. It's the fourth targeting that's kind of invisible here because you have to know how to do it. And it means you put a plus in front of the word. So if I wanted to advertise on all of the terms that include sparkling scarf, but in any order, sparkling scarf, scarf that's sparkling, sparkling scarf for mom, as long as it has those two words in it, I want to show up for that keyword, I would put plus sparkling space plus scarf and add that as my keyword. So that means that Amazon has to include those two terms when it's advertising our product, but it doesn't have to be in that order, and it can include other words around it. So this is a great way if you know that there's a whole family of terms that work really well for you. It makes Amazon advertise on those terms for that buyer intent. For example, if I knew that I wanted people to search for, I'm gonna talk about a different product here. If it was like a wooden phone holder, I would do plus wooden plus phone plus holder. And then Amazon has to advertise me on terms that include wooden. And what I actually could do is remove the plus in front of holder and remove the plus in front of phone to give it even more leeway, but I get all the terms that include wooden. And Amazon can swap out phone and swap out holder, but it can't swap out wooden. So that's an interesting way to force Amazon to include terms that you know are profitable for you, but allow it the leeway to find other terms that are related to the term. Once you have all your keywords in there, you're gonna click Add Keywords, then scroll down, and negative keyword targeting, similar to before, you're gonna put in any terms that you know never convert for you. The campaign bidding strategy, you're gonna start with down only. Then here's where you put the placement bid adjusters. Top of search means you're more likely to show up at the top of search. Rest of search means in the rest of search results when you scroll down. Product pages means you're more likely for this ad to show up on other listings, on other competitors' listings. And then audience bid adjusters is what we mentioned before, where the best audience to always test is high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity. And you want to start with a small amount, like 10%. Name your campaign, put in your daily budget, and you're good to go. All right, let's take a look at the next one down. And since I skipped the setup of a couple other ones, I'm gonna go a little bit further down for you guys. So the next one down is a sponsored product campaign with product targeting, targeting some of our top competitors that are getting a lot of traffic, but that we might have a better offer for, either because of price or quality or features or for whatever reason. And in this case, we have exact product targeting, not expanded product targeting. Okay, now let's figure out how to set up this campaign. And by the way, if you want to learn more about how to install profitable PPC frameworks into your brand to grow your brand profitably using Amazon PPC, I run the largest Amazon PPC training virtual event in the world. It's called the Profitable PPC Challenge. It's happening pretty soon. You can register for that in the description of this video. And if you miss this one, then you're welcome to join the next one. But at the time of this recording, it's actually happening in just a couple of days. So love to see you guys there. And you can join that just by clicking the first link in the description of this video. So to create this campaign, you're gonna go to Create Campaign, Sponsored Products, Amazon and Beyond, select the product you wanna advertise, select Manual Targeting, select Product Targeting, go to Individual Products, and then enter List, and then deselect Expanded and select Exact. This means we wanna show up exactly on these competitors' listings. Expanded means you're giving Amazon leeway to show on similar listings. Exact means you want Amazon to show you on those listings. But keep in mind, whether you choose exact or expanded, you can show up with this ad on product listings or in search. No matter what sponsored product type of targeting you set up, Amazon can show you for both. They'll show you for, if you're targeting a product, they'll show you for that product, and they'll also show you in search results for keywords that that product is ranking for. So you want to select exact, and then here's where you're going to enter the ASINs of the listings that you want to advertise on. So if I wanted to show up on this listing, all I have to do is click the listing, and then you'll see right here in the domain after DP, this is the ASIN. So you can just copy that directly into here, and you can copy as many as you want here in this box, then click target, and they've been added as your target. Once you have your target added, you can add any negative product targeting if you know the advertising on certain products doesn't work for you, but don't worry about this. You'll find these in the data later on when you go to optimize the campaign. Then down under campaign, you're gonna select dynamic bids down only. And then here's where you can mess with bid adjustments like we mentioned before, but you don't have to start out with any. You can just look at the data after the campaign's been created and adjust the bid adjusters based on the performance of each of these different placements. Once you've done that, you can name the campaign, add the budget, and you're ready to launch. And that is the top campaigns that we use to grow this brand more than 3x while decreasing tacos and increasing profitability over the last year. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, if you guys are interested in partnering with me to take over your Amazon PPC and use it to grow your brand profitably, there's a link in the description of this video to my website, sophiesociety.com. Click the link. It takes like 15 seconds to apply there to see if you're applicable to become a PPC partner of Sophie Society. And if you want to see another breakdown like this, check out this video where I walk through how we grew this brand from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month using Amazon PPC as a data source to improve the whole business, not just the campaigns. I think you guys will love this video. Check it out right here.